So today we are going to show you how you can automate your chat-based customer support using Arrow AI. So a lot of you might be having a chat-based customer support in your web, in your mobile applications. I mean, some things like this. I mean, where the customer essentially talks up over a chat window, and then your customer support executive at the back end, he responds up. So today we are going to show you how you can automate that process, and a lot of those answers and a lot of those queries can be resolved up using an AI system. We are going to use up Arrow AI, which essentially is a platform to build up conversational AI applications. So just before that, and let me show you a very crude example which I just built up in 5 minutes. Probably I'll take you through the whole of the process of building up that later on. So for example, what I did was within this, I did put up just three FAQs, just three standard FAQs, and which is how do I pay. I ended up entering up some answers to that, and let me just test the application. So for example, if I ask the application, how do I pay? So the application says you can either pay online or pay offline on cash on delivery. Great. So if I ask, how do I pay online? So it says you can use internet banking and everything. Great. So for example, if I want to ask, how do I pay using credit card? So it tells me how do I pay using credit card. Great. I mean, these were little standard. So let me ask up a very tricky kind of a question to it. So for example, I am not able to pay using my credit card. Can you help? And it has understood. So basically, it understood that this is something which is almost similar to what I'm talking up here. If you realize, I've even intentionally made the spelling is wrong. So basically, instead of card, I put it up as a credit card. But still, it's able to understand that system. Or let me say, I I want to make the payment online, but I am not able to do it. Can you help me? So this has understood that this essentially lies up into this category, which essentially is paying online. So how it does? It uses machine learning at the back end, wherein it tries to understand, what would be the intent of all of the sentence, and then basis that, essentially, tries to give you an answer. It has given me an answer along with that. And this, again, all of these things just from a very simple three FAQs which I did put it up. So I'll show you up right from scratch in terms of how you can essentially create your own application. And it's pretty easy. I mean, I did it up within just a couple of minutes. So for example, let me add up a new application. So an application here is essentially an independent application that can be integrated up into your customer support. So for example, here let me create up as my testing customer support, and let me go up into this my testing customer support. So now here I have to add up modules. So all of the functionality within this application has been divided up into form of modules. You can create your own modules or you can add from repository. So we have a lot of these modules, pre-built modules, which you can essentially use up. Again, these are featured modules or a lot of these community-based modules or personal modules which you have built up in other applications. So let me add up a FAQ module. So the moment I added up a FAQ module, it showed me up a question and answer tab here. So again, question and answer, what it does, it creates up conversations. Conversations you can essentially also create up by going up here and basically editing up the module and it will take you to a conversational editor. I'll just show you as a reference. Uh, so the moment you edit it up, it takes you to the conversational editor. So this is an editor. You can essentially add up conversations. Conversations are again a tricky thing which we'll cover up in the next topic. So again, what we have done is we have created this FAQ just by simple FAQ in the format of a simple question and answer kind of a format of FAQ. You can essentially do up what the system had been doing up. So for example, if I write how do I pay, you can pay online or offline. Again, just a sample thing, just for the demonstration thing. How do I pay online? You can pay online by credit card. Pay from how do I pay? You can enter the PIN. And that's it. I mean, so within a minute, I've just added up my standard FAQs, question and answers. Let me run up the application. So to run the application, I'll have to publish the application. All of these changes which I've done. So this is publishing up the application. And the moment I've published the application, it will essentially be able to show up all of the things that we have entered. So again, I mean, so this is the, for example, again, how do I pay online when I do not have a online, I am not able to do it. So again, so this is what we just wrote up previously as a solution, as an answer to how do I pay online. Again, so basically at the back end, your customer support executive essentially can see all of the users and all of the messages as they are being typed on. So for example, if I go up here, I'll be able to see I have one guest. The moment I click, so this is my login from a developer account or a customer executive account. I can see that the executive, the user has said that how do I pay online, I'm not able to do it. The system has responded with this. It has shown 99% confidence. Let me ask up another tricky question. How do I pay online using credit card? This is a tricky one because we had trained him with two different things. So we trained him that how do I pay online, as well as we have trained him in how do I pay using credit card. Let me go back. Let me see. The system is at this point 96% confident. Again, so basically the system understood it up and it has given the confidence score. Now at this point, so for example, if I want to manually interfere, so I want to say, can you, do you, for example, if I want to say, do you want us to call you to help? So this is what the agent has written up. The user will see up this app chat. So basically at any point, the agent can manually take over the application and basically have a conversation with the user. Apart from the manual thing, what you can also do up is, for example, if I want put up a confidence score threshold. So for example, if I say the application, if the application is less than for example, 98% confident, then it should notify me. So, for example, in this case where I have written up how do I pay online using credit card, the application should notify me because I mean obviously the application is not 100% sure. So let me write it up again. How do I pay online using credit card? So at this point, you have written it up, and it has shown you up an option to accept or change the or write your custom answer. So I can accept this, and I'll see up the answer here. So basically, any threshold which there, which essentially will be shown up here. Also, not just that. I mean, so for example, this line, the system is inferring as the conversation which essentially says that how can I pay using credit card. I want to say that this essentially line means that how do I pay online. I can just edit here. On the right, I'll see up the select matching conversation, and I say how do I pay online. So from here, what it does is essentially it shows you up that how you can. This essentially, whenever the user will write something like that, this essentially will be treated up in this form as a how do I pay online. This essentially goes up into training of the user, training of the AI, which essentially so that further it will essentially do it. I'll just very quickly glance over and brief over what the whole module thing is. So you remember we entered up three conversations. So all of these three conversations essentially have been as very simple conversation wherein you can essentially write a very simple sentence to train the classifier. I want to train it up with multiple things. So if I want to say I am not able to pay, so what it does is essentially if I write down something near to how do I pay or I'm not able to pay or help me in payment, so something like that. So basically the more the sentences, obviously the better training the system will have. If you remember on the front end, we had this option of selecting up and then basically adding to the conversation. It automatically, the moment you do that, it automatically adds that also sentence as a training to the classifier. Currently, I mean, it's just a simple reply that we have given up. What we can also do up is we can essentially put up a further question if you want to add a clarification. You can put up a function if you want to do up some system at the backend. You can also put in your code here. So there is a lot of things essentially into this module editor. We'll not go into this in detail. We'll go to the next series. Then there is this concept of tickets. So basically, I mean, you can essentially make the system in such a way that whenever, a particular application, a particular issue gets logged in, a ticket will automatically get generated. We'll also get into this in a further detail. So in general, I mean, this application will serve you for most of your customer communications. It will loosen up a lot of burden from your customer executive team. So great, thank you. We will meet on the next series.